Please state your name and your question.
George Howard, and my question is this. Actually, the other side is already saying that there's going to be a runaway convention. You've heard this.
Yeah.
Is there any literature or anything that out there that we can use to combat this?
Our website, which I should have mentioned about 5 times already, but I failed, is conventionofstates.com. And so conventionofstates.com, real simple. The first, Tamara, do we have copies of my article, Can You Trust the Constitution here?
We do not.
Okay.
We have 2 other pieces
Okay,
that
all right.
we can take.
There's a 2-page document called Can You Trust the Constitution? In fact, you know what? I got some in my briefcase right there.
We'll get it.
Okay.
We'll get it.
But you get one for sure. All right, for asking the question. But I've got about 50 of them in my briefcase. But here's what you need to know. The argument that there was a runaway convention stems from, or there could be a runaway convention, stems from a defamation against the Founding Fathers and against the Constitution that claims that the Constitution itself was illegally adopted by the result of a runaway convention. That is not only morally bankrupt, it's factually baloney. That argument is premised on one historical fallacy and one really questionable authority. The historical fallacy is this. They claim that Congress called the convention and appointed the delegates and gave them their authority. James Madison in Federalist 40 tells you the truth. The convention was called by the states. The states named the delegates, and the states gave the delegates their authority. And what did the states tell the delegates to do? I quote, "Render the federal Constitution adequate for the exigencies of the Union." End of quote. That's what they were told to do. They did exactly what they were told to do. It was no runaway, and all 13 state legislatures approved the new process before we adopted the new ratification rules. So the idea that they changed the ratification rules illegally is baloney. They changed the ratification rules with the consent of Congress and all 13 state legislatures. So they've lied to you about the history of the Constitution. And so when groups like Eagle Forum, Phyllis is my good friend and wonderful lady, and in 50 years of political activism, she's entitled to be wrong once. And this is where she's wrong once. She uses a letter from Warren Burger, one of the co-authors of Roe versus Wade, who says that this will be a runaway convention. Well, Warren Burger is relying on the defamation against the Constitution. Why is it in Warren Burger's interest, and judges like Warren Burger's interest, to continue that defamation? Because if the Constitution was adopted illegally, then we don't need to take it so literally. We can just kind of guess it's aura, the penumbra arising from the Bill of Rights, and that kind of nonsense. So Warren Burger is not the authority on this issue. He's wrong. James Madison is the authority on this issue, and he tells us the truth. So go to our website. There's lots of stuff, but the starting point is 2 pages. Can you trust the Constitution? Okay.
Thank you, Michael.